medications into the sea can be a lot better for our patients, but a lot worse for the fishes. Today we're going to be talking about alternatives to medication or medicine. Here at the radio station, we don't have the best insurance, so we can end up paying a lot for medical visits and prescriptions. And sometimes we don't even need medication. Sometimes we are just lacking some vitamins or some minerals or maybe some exercise. So today we're going to talk about the average costs of healthcare and medications here in the U.S. We'll talk about how doctors are trying to solve problems for their patients, and then we'll talk about some easy alternatives. So like we said, healthcare is really expensive. In the U.S., the OECD, which is Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, they did a study on the United States and how much they pay for healthcare compared to other nations. Americans pay 17.9% of their GDP, which is pretty much, that's how much we pay for our services or goods. And that averages out to about, or actually more than $8,500 per person per year for healthcare. So the United States pays more for healthcare than any other nation, and in fact is 61% higher than the next highest nation. For prescription medicines, the average person spends almost $900 a month. So with all this, all that we pay for our doctor visits and our medications, we're still only ranked 27th among other nations for our life expectancy. So to me that seems pretty crazy. We're not really getting what we're paying for. Benjamin Franklin once said that the best doctors give out the least medications. And medications can have some awful side effects, or if you're on medications and you're trying to get off, you can have some nasty withdrawals. A lot of times doctors don't look to the root of the problem. They'll just try to cover up the symptoms with medication. And Susie experienced that once. She was told that Abraham needed tubes for his ears, which is normal. Megan's, your kids have had them, my kids have had them. I had them 4 times growing up. So it's pretty normal nowadays to do that for kids. Susie didn't feel right about it, and she decided, I'm just going to look and see what other options we could do. She took Abraham to the doctor, or to the chiropractor once, had him adjusted, and he's only had 1 ear infection since then. So deaths from prescription medications, there's been over 38,000 deaths just in 2010. And of that amount, 75% from pain medications, 29% were from medications in psychiatry, which is like treating anxiety attacks, panic attacks, anxiety, insomnia, or seizures, and 17% were from depression. And just a little side note, compare those to the amount of deaths there were from vitamins from the Poison Control Center, and there's not any. Dr. Peter Breggin wrote a book called Psychiatric Drug Withdrawal, a guide for prescribers, therapists, patients, and families. And he said, I'm just going to read it because it's really long and it's really interesting, I don't want to mess it up. There is now so much scientific evidence proving that psychiatric drugs damage the brain and overall health and lifespan that maybe the major concern now should be, how do we stop taking psychiatric drugs? It can be dangerous and even agonizing to stop, and people need to take charge of the process and no longer let prescribers like psychiatrists, general practitioners, and even pediatricians dictate to them how long they or their children need to stay on drugs. Withdrawals from psychiatric medications include, well, and actually psychiatric medications, they affect your nervous system, which is pretty much like your operating system of your body. So withdrawals can pop up anytime, anywhere in like your whole body when you're trying to get off these medications. One of the withdrawals is with your perception, your vision, hearing, or smelling, your cognition. You'll be really confused. You'll have a hard time concentrating. Powerful emotions such as weeping, strong fear or anxiety. Physical pain, like just even in your skin, they say that like they'll just be physically hurting all over their body. And brain zaps. This one's crazy to me. This one is described as sensations of tiny, sharp electrical surges in the brain that can happen anytime when you're trying to get off these medications. So now we'll talk about depression and side effects from depression medications, headache, nausea, insomnia, agitation, and sexual problems. So you can have these while you're still battling with depression. You're trying out different types of medications. And National Institute of Mental Health said that you should stay on your medications for 6 to 12 months at least to see if that medication is even going to work for you. And if that doesn't, then we'll try another one. They just keep trying. They're really trying to help, but it's just kind of a scary process. Marcille Pick, who's a nurse practitioner, she wrote in her article, Antidepressants and Natural Alternatives, she said that many forms of depression are normal, natural, and temporary, and medications may only prohibit the body's natural way for working through these medical, or this needed struggle. And it's what's the word? It's just like a fever going through your body trying to get rid of an infection. You should just try to work through it on your own. So now we talked about how much the U.S. spends on medical care and what we don't really get from that, and how doctors are trying to help, but sometimes it's not really working. So some alternatives, mental and spiritual health. Us as Christians, we know if we have a good relationship with the Lord, and it's a good, healthy one, that's definitely going to affect our outlook on life and our mental and physical bodies. A couple verses that go along with that. Proverbs 17:22, a joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. And Proverbs 23:7, as a man thinks within himself, so he will be. And I've kind of seen that in my kids sometimes. I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick. Or you can kind of psych yourself out to being sick. Another alternative is to eat healthier. You should eat veggies from all colors of the rainbow to get all the different kinds of vitamins and minerals that you need. A well-balanced diet usually provides all the vitamins that we need. And yeah, vitamins and minerals we get from our food. Exercise. And exercise doesn't have to be crazy, running miles a day and hours a day. 30 minutes a day of just moderate exercise could really make a big difference. Oh, okay, and this is some fun ways to just get, or not fun, but just easy ways to get exercise each day. Park farther away in the parking lots, take the stairs, bike or walk to work, which depending on how far away you live from work, biking here to the church might not be very practical. Stand or walk around while on the phone. And go into buildings instead of using the drive-thrus. Sleep. I don't think any of us ever get enough sleep. Adults are recommended to get 7 or 8 hours each night. Sleep is also essential to your health, and a lack of it can lead to heart disease, high blood pressure, stroke, weight gain, and diabetes. Other alternatives, chiropractor, counseling, and acupuncture. Acupuncture, if you guys don't know what that is, the insertion of extremely thin needles through your skin in strategic points. So, in closing, we pay a lot for healthcare and medications, and sometimes we don't really need to. We might just need to take a step back and look at different alternatives. Might just be lacking exercise or vitamins or minerals. And that's it.
Yay!